Okay, so here's a follow-up video for that first DADGAD lesson there. I'm still here at capo 5, so we're still in G, but again I'm going to talk about everything as much as possible in terms of the degree of the scale. So here I've got my 1 chord, and this is what we went over last time with our major shapes. So I have my 1, my minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, weird augmented, I think it's augmented, 7, and then the major 1 again, or the major 8, whichever. So I'm just gonna quickly run over how that basic shape that I was telling you about, this shape here that slides around, can be used to do a minor scale, or the chords for a minor scale. So obviously one thing you probably notice straight away is that this chord here has no third in it. So actually it's not really a major chord, and it's not really a minor chord either. You could turn it into a major chord by adding the third. So here on our 1 middle string here, you can add in a major third. And by dropping that 1 semitone, we just make that a minor third. I'm not particularly big fan of that minor chord there, but you can also do it like this. Same with major. Even like that. But for most purposes in DADGAD, there's really no need to add in a third. I quite like the sound of it without it. So for our minor scale, here we've got 1. We have a minor 2 again. 3 is now major, 4 is minor, 5 is minor, 6 is major, 7 is major, and then we're back to our 1, which is of course minor. Cool. So now I'm going to start to talk about a little bit about how a few different ways we can voice the chords that we've already learned. Like essentially we now have our entire major scale, we have a shape of some sort for every chord. Same with our minor scale. We're not, like, that's not including, of course, chords that are outside the basic step-by-step major minor things. So I'm not talking about any suspended chords or 7th chords, anything like that just yet. But we have a basic shape for each degree of the scale. So now I've got my 1, and I'm going to talk about a few different ways of playing 1. This is obviously one of the most important chords, especially in DADGAD. And when you're playing backup music, often you can get away with more or less just sticking to this 1 chord. So we have our 1 shape here. Another way that I really like to use, and I use this a lot, is this little shape here. And it's almost, if you add 1 more finger, it would make every single string playing the root note. Which means that you can slide this around wherever you want. I tend to use it with just 2 fingers though, because it's actually just a little easier on your hands. And there we have another shape again that we can slide around, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's one of my one chords. Here's another one up here, a little lighter. And that one can be slid around to some extent, but not in quite the same way. So we have 3 different ones now, right? 1, 2, 3. There's of course always just this, and then we have our major one and our minor one. So we now have a few different ways of playing our one chord. In terms of our next chords, one thing that we can change is you can either do 2 or you can use 3 for all of these shapes. Same with this one. And maybe not so much this one. But definitely this one, if you can get your fingers. Yes. And you can also just do it under the string here, so for a few of the shapes, for example. You still have this bottom string ringing out. So that's another voicing. Here's another one further up for a slightly chirpier sound. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'll show you this shape really quickly here on our 4th note. So we've got one finger here, next finger here, you see that? And again, the same principle, because actually it's on the same string. This finger is going to dictate whether the shape is going to be major or minor. So that's our major shape. Same fret as this one. Again, we can just drop that back 1, make it a minor 4 chord, same as we could do here. But obviously now we're in major, so I've got 1, and now 2. Again, the same principle. You're imagining that it's a minor chord, so you're fretting here, but actually, of course, the capo's there, so you don't need to. So you've got this. You could even play it like that if you wanted to really complete it, but there's no need. And then this one, our minor 3, major 4, major 5. So again, this is one that we can slide around. And then our augmented. I like that, it's very nice. And then back up to it. Cool. I'm going to leave it there for today. And yeah, we'll see. I'll probably do another one as well. So thanks for watching, and hope you guys get something out of this. Cheers.